Fantastic. All right, my good people, my name is Tunmise Ajeigbe. This is another edition this is just a special edition of me trying to interview presidential aspirants contesting for the position of president at NSU, at CIU, the largest community on the highland. So I have here with me my co-host, Kolawole Muqadiss, whom I believe he knows so much about the unionism. I understand the plight and what really concerns the students that are from Nigeria on the highland. So we are going to be engaging in the discussion as regards to the presidential ambition of Miss Emmanuella Imo. Please don't let me give you a ring. A mystery ring. that will not be Miss Emmanuella Imo. She is here to dish out our offering, and it is going to be a platform that will showcase what you have in the mind for the Nigerian people. Please, Mr. Muqadiss, just give us a short introduction of yourself. Thank you for honoring my call.
Yeah. Good afternoon. And I'm currently studying at Cyprus International University. I'm a student of artificial intelligence engineering. I'm also a brand and graphic designer, and also a little bit member of student politics in Cyprus. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining me. And let us just clap together for our guest. It is not easy to catch a guest like
a presidential aspirant.
Being a presidential, it is from opposite gender. We have to show some respect. Let me see you clapping. Please, Miss Emmanuella Imo.
Great one.
I may not be able to pronounce your name very well, but I want you to serve us a proper introduction that befits your standard. If I say I should start introducing you, it may yield to something like embarrassment. So I want you to just push it out, like introduce yourself properly, let people out there know you more.
Okay, thank you so much, Tunmise. Thank you, Muqadiss, for having me here today to share with you all. My name is Emmanuella Imo. Everyone calls me Ella. Ella is a name that has followed me right from time. So I'm a PhD student here at Cyprus International University, currently studying communications and media studies. What else? I'm the CEO and founder of Hexa Media Africa, a company I've been running for the past 6 years, where we help African NGOs and faith-based organizations to leverage tech, digital media, and communications for growth. Beyond that, I'm looking to run for the position of president for the Nigerian Students Union, as you own. Thank you so much.
It's glad to catch you. It's glad to catch you. Thank you so much. I prepared some kind of questions for you, because just know that this kind of program is going to be a complete grilling. Sorry, we will ask you so much questions. We want to go deep. We want to understand your plight fully. So if it concerns background and personal issues, just bear. It is for
I'm happy to share.
It is for a good advocacy and shows that the largest community of people on the highland can witness a good democracy. So that is how it is. There is no democracy without journalism. Journalists are watchdog to make sure the society are on the right path. I think I am the only one that haven't introduced myself apart from saying my name. My name is Tunmise Ajeigbe. I'm a student at Cyprus International University. I'm a master's student. I'm studying information, communication, and technology. I'm a freelance journalist. My article has been published on Premium Times, Sahara Reporter, and other national dailies in Nigeria. So that's what I do basically. And let us just dive directly to the main concern. I know it is of a good ambition to say things are not working well, and one individual, regardless of the gender, and to just wake up one day and say, okay, I want to lead the largest community of the people. There are some things you see that are not working well. So there are really calls for need assessment. and after you on your own you assess the problems and you think you can provide solutions to some things. I really want to know the ZBI or presidential aspirant. What do you have in mind for the people, Nigerian people in CIU?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. And I believe it's an important question that is on the minds of every student right now, because of their past experiences and different people that are coming towards them to look for their support. So, first and foremost, I would say that the most important thing in every community, whether student, business, or wherever you are, is communication, right? And that was something that drove me to studying communications for my master's and then still pursuing it for my PhD. The world where we live in, communication is very important, and not just communication, two-way communication. So from one person to the other, there must be feedback. And for me, I think the major problem I saw, which inspired me to want to come in and solve a problem, was the issue of communication of every issue that I see that is happening. A lot of students don't know first off about the union. A lot of students don't know how to avoid some certain problems. A lot of students are not aware about problems that, are possibilities that, they should stay out of and all of that. Beyond communication, having to advocate and speak for the rights of the student, there are lots of issues happening. I don't want to go into that until you ask specific questions, But there are a lot of problems happening. Some the union presidents cannot, so it has to be like the decision of the government and people in power in the country to solve that, because all of these problems are beyond the control of the individuals. So communication and these other problems, inspired me to want to help. And from my background, having to work with NGOs and social entrepreneurs, I basically know, what it means to solve a problem, for people to have problems and want to solve it genuinely. So what exactly would I want to do for students if I am elected as president? There are 5 core things I have in mind. So proper communication between the union and the student. Everyone needs to know that there is a body who cares about them. There is a body that, is standing and going to be speaking for their rights. There is a body that will be the voice for them to speak where they cannot speak for themselves, to advocate for themselves, for them when they cannot advocate for themselves. Fight, if possible, when they cannot fight for themselves. They need to know about this, and they need to be able to, table their concerns, which brings me to the next point or next problem I hope to solve. A lot of students don't know who to talk to. They don't know how, they can communicate with, become aware of the problems and how to avoid them. But beyond that, a digitized system for lodging complaints will help them know that, you can lodge your complaint, and a team is already set in place to be able to respond to these complaints and give you answers in real time. Beyond the digitized system for lodging complaints, welfare is one very huge issue that I have noticed, because personally in my work here, I work with a lot of women, because I'm a feminist, to hear this, but not a feminist to the extreme. The feminist who looks for, like you mentioned earlier when we first started, gender equality, because women can also do right, in certain places, which includes politics. So I've worked with a lot of women, and I've seen women, being in certain situations where they should not be in. And I've also seen guys also being in situations that is beyond their power. They are having to make decisions out of their control. And all of this boils down to welfare. So if we have a situation whereby you have access to resources, whether clothes, whether shoes, whether finance, which is not something we're promising based on, the whole finance issue. People are waiting for someone to say, I would give you money. Nobody can give you money. But I know that there are people who have good hearts, who want to give, who want to serve, who want to touch someone's life, wherever you are. So far as you are students in CIU, through the digitized system, which will help us with the database of students, we're going to be able to create a matching system where need, right? It's that simple. And beyond the digitized system, communication and all of that, enhanced communication, enhanced representation, better representation of students. Every challenge that every student is facing, not all can be solved. I will keep saying this, and I've told you this, Tunmise, before when I spoke with you, because of the unique environments that we find ourselves. A lot of issues are beyond our control. Let's just face it. Let's be realistic. I'm a very realistic person, and the issues of school fees, scholarship, debt, bus, food, accommodation, and put out the words around that, right? Because CIU is someone's business, whether you like it or not. And so if you say you're going to promise something and you cannot deliver on that, or you say you're going to do something, you may not be able to do it because you're going to spoil someone's business in the long run. It's just we being realistic. And that's how I like to look at life, right? So having to advocate for their rights, having to speak when they cannot speak for themselves, having to, dialogue for certain issues that students, on is something that I'm sure I will be able to do because I'm an activist, I'm an advocate, and definitely I'll be able to advocate for the rights of students. Also, activities and fun events. Students love fun because, this whole environment can be toxic at some point. It can be very stressful. So activities and events where students can unwind, have fun, but beyond that, make connections. I believe in making connections, building relationships a lot. And I know that relationships are us in life, right? And it has really played a large role in my own life too. So it's not about here, it's not about Cyprus, it's beyond Cyprus for me, it's beyond CIU for me. Someone you meet here through any of our events or anything can help you or can be pivotal to a new journey or new phase in your life, in the next phase you want to encounter. Also skill development and talent acquisition. We find that a lot of students are not self-sufficient, and I've had to talk with a lot of people, not just in the course of this. I always tell everyone that one thing that has kept me on this island for 6 years are the that I've been able to. I went into graphic design. I'm a very good Canva designer myself. A lot of people don't know this. But I have certain skills, right, that I started from the scratch. And right now I'm a full-fledged communications professional, but I didn't start as a full-fledged communications professional. I built myself, I built my skills, and all of these skills were able to sustain me on this island. At some point, I was not depending on my parents. I was self-sufficient, right? So every Nigerian student can be self-sufficient, and we are smart, we are strong, we are diligent, but some of us do not have the information, not have the skill. So I want to create a system whereby we're working with professionals, people who are, skilled in this area, how to acquire these skills, but beyond that, the business of the skill. So the business of the skill would be selling their skills, selling their expertise, and being able to make money from it. Not just digital skills, but also hard skills. We have people who have learned woodwork, who have learned mechanic work and all of that. And they go to countries like Australia, Canada, right? And they are millionaires from that because all these countries will pay a lot for those kind of hard skills. So if we can empower students to be able to learn these skills, so when they will be self-sufficient. And when they are still here, they can provide for their needs, no matter how small it is. So for me, those are like the 5 core things I hope to achieve if I am elected as president. I hope that answers your question.
Actually, looking at the agenda, they are actually very good one. Looking at the issues Nigerian students are currently facing in Northern Cyprus. And then, it's a different thing to have a good agenda and a quality one. And this can't just be done individually. We have to collaborate together, both the union and the students. So the question here is that looking at the diversity we have in Northern Cyprus, we have a lot of different nationality, and definitely and obviously, looking at CIU, we're not just having a Nigerian union, we have other nationality with their union. So my question here is, how do you intend to collaborate with other nationalities union and the Nigerian student to achieve your goals?
The goals are primarily for the Nigerian students, right? They are the ones that will be the at least 95% beneficiaries of whatever plans that we have. So collaboration
Definitely.
and partnership is very key. So through discussing with people, sharing my thoughts and my ideas, which I've already even started doing at the moment, right? I need to talk with them to see how they can come on board, either as facilitators, or some people have already volunteered their skills and services at the moment while we speak, from just, talking to them, sharing my thoughts, and they're like, and I want to give back. So these are the kind of things we're saying, and most of them are not even Nigerians. They just want to support, they just want to give back. So having to talk with people, share the ideas, and see how they can come on board to work with us to empower as many students as possible. But like I said before, it is primarily for Nigerians. In the case of having to solve some other problems that are not Nigerian student unique. For example, a lot of the students complain about the school bus, which is a very huge issue. That problem is not one man job, and it's not a job of the union, Nigerian Student Union president. It's the job of all the presidents having to come together. So if by chance I get to win this election and I am president, one thing I will do is to try and ignite the fire in the hearts of every president who is in CIU, to see how we can, go to the school management and have a dialogue with them to see how they can make the bus, service better for students. That one is something that I know dialogue will definitely work, but it takes everyone working together, igniting the fire in everyone to be able to are going to talk as Nigerian Students Union alone. We might not be able to solve that problem. So we have to go as a consortium per se to be able to solve that kind of problem. So for me, I think yes.
So we actually don't have much time. We actually don't have much time, and we have a lot to attend to. Please, on that question that my colleague just asked now, apart from other student union in the school, are you willing to collaborate with agents of government in Cyprus as if elected as the president of NSU in CIU? I'm trying of how you can advance your relationship from being students to like the government officials and get a good relationship with our host here in Cyprus.
Sorry, I don't get the question. Could you come again, please?
Yeah, I said apart from collaboration with student union,
yes,
like I am talking about advancement of relationship from other nationalities that are students on the highland, and I'm thinking of maybe affiliation with government officials and normal relationship that could exist between guest and host on the highland.
Definitely. Collaboration, like I said before, is very important, and relationship building is definitely going to happen in the course of this war. So having to be the voice or the face of the Nigerian students here would mean having to meet different people. I'm 100% open to working with the stakeholders in the community, stakeholders in the country, to ensure that as much as possible, a lot of things are going to be solved and things can be done. I'm very 100% with that.
I know you've spoken about issue of scholarship and how some goals are unrealistic, but I really want to throw this one to you. And international education can be so expensive. What strategy do you have in mind to make education more accessible and affordable for Nigerian students seeking to study at international university? And how will you advocate for financial interest and support for their career development? I know this is very wide, but it's something that you can address.
Okay, so like I said before, this is a unique environment, right? And it is important that we are as realistic, even in your questions and in our responses, as much as possible. So when it comes to scholarships and accessing financial aid has already created for students to be able to do this, I think first thing to do would be to educate people and create awareness about the pathways that they can take, to get access to financial. Beyond that, having to talk with the school, it's not a Nigerian unique situation. It's a situation that cuts across every student, right? So if we're having to have negotiations or talk with the school, it's a very sensitive topic. We have to be very careful as much as possible. So I cannot give any word per se regarding that, but I know that having to communicate and let people know that the educational scholarship or the sibling-based scholarship or the different types of scholarship that people can get is something we can create awareness about and let people know. If there are other ways we could maybe work with agents, Nigerian agents who bring students here to make education more accessible to some of the students, I'm very open to the idea on getting that done. But let's be realistic as much as possible. This is someone's business, and we have to be very careful in what we're hoping to do and achieve, even though we have the rights of our people.
Actually, looking at the question and the topic itself, it's actually a very, very sensible one. The issue of financial scholarships and and it's not just pertaining to the Nigerian students, it is coming across all the students in the campus. Looking at that, in the face of challenges or opposition, how do you plan to maintain your commitment to your campaign promises and the student body's best interests?
Okay, so every good work has challenges. I think setback is something I always face. I run a business myself, so I face setback all the time. Even right now, I'm currently facing some. So one thing that has always helped me when setback come is to sit down, analyze, and get advice. There are people who have gone ahead of me. There are people who have been presidents before me. There are people who have been in the system longer than I have been, and I do not take everyone or anyone's opinion or thought or advice for granted, and it's something that I have really done so far. So for me, sit down, analyze, where's the setback coming from, right? How can we solve it? I don't like to dwell on issues. I like to find a headway to getting out of whatever problem that we're in. If dialogue has to happen, yes. If compromise has to happen, we have to compromise. But notwithstanding, whatever it is that I'm saying I will do right now, I can guarantee you 100% is within my capacity to get it done, because I have implemented some of these projects before in my work with NGOs, in my work with PM that I have used back into this unique environment to replicate that process, right? But does not mean that problems will not come, whether with individuals or with the community or even the students itself. Communication, negotiation, identifying, analyzing, all of this would happen and problems will be solved.
That was fantastic, actually.
I enjoyed the section that covers about you giving good governance to the people. But I really want to talk about the political aspects. You are not the only aspirant. You have so many positions there, wanting to occupy the same position you are vying for. So I guess my colleague has some questions as regards to how you will share your cabinet. Kola, will you take on?
Yes, so looking at it, looking at politics in general, we have the elected candidate and then the appointed ones.
Yes.
So looking at the challenges that we might be facing moving on, how do you plan to arrange cabinet? How do you plan to pick people that are going to work together with you and appoint some or assign some posts for them? Is it based on who I know, or based on this one is coming from my tribe, or this is my friend, we are from the same religion and the likes? So how do you plan to work around that and make sure it go across all the tribe that we have from the same nation, Nigeria? How do you plan to work around that?
Okay, so one thing now that I see happening in the course of all these election things is we're bringing the mistakes of our forefathers and our elders back home in politics here, which is very wrong. I've been watching politics from an outsider point of view, and right now I'm in it. I'm like, so this is what they actually face. So this is what actually happens that I see. And for me, it's a mistake that we should not be repeating, because we are renewed minds. We are in a different environment. We've come here for edification of our minds and exposure, and we should be working based on our exposure. But coming back to your question, who I know, to be truthful, the people I'm even having to connect with in the course of this whole campaign and election thing, most of them I've never met them before. But I'm having to work with people based on their capacity, right? So based on the things I want to achieve, if I can identify, which I've already started identifying, people that I know will be able to work with me, they are of like mindset, because if you have people who do not think like you think, it will be difficult to implement the plans that you have. And it has worked for me different times. So it's not about where you come from, what church you attend, or what mosque you attend, or what part of Nigeria you attend. I'm not banking on that. It's about who you are, the heart you have, and what you can do. If you say you can do this, you have the track record that has proven you can do this, fine. I'm happy, and willing to work with as many people as possible, even though I prefer to work with a lean team, because I believe that when there are so many people involved, it's different and difficult to work with a large crowd. So for me, it's not about, I tell people I am an undiluted Nigerian. My father is an Igbo man. My mom is from Benue State. I was born in Kwara State. I live in the north. So I've had an experience of every part. I'm not choosing from anywhere, right? I'm not saying this person because I know you here. If you keep doing because I know you here, you work with, you will not achieve what we want to achieve. If we keep doing because you are not my brother, you are not my sister, we will not. That's what is killing Nigeria, right? And that's not what we need. Solutions to problems. And people who have a heart for change, people have a heart to jump in and hoping and happy. So for me, it's not about where you come. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
We are one Nigeria. So
I now everyone watching this right now would understand everything and will surely get this clear. So if you are watching this right now, Mrs. Emmanuella Imo is making it clear to us now that Miss Emmanuella Imo, sorry, she's making it clear for us right now that she's not bringing a politics that is based on who I know or who you are. It is based on your capability and what you can do. So looking at it, we forgot to discuss on the issue of trust, and I can see here we are having less than 5 minutes. Okay. Now, we know issue of trust is something every student are eager to know how trustworthy this person is, how much can we trust this person. So looking at the whole issue we are currently facing in Northern Cyprus and CIU in particular, and the question is popping up in my mind, why should we, the students, trust you as our representative? As our presidential representative, and what sets you apart from other candidates that are also contesting for this same position?
Okay, what sets me apart is this is not an ambition for me. I'm not do here. I've told people before, I even said it yesterday. It will smell my name and smell my business. I run a business that I hope to expand in the future. And whatever I do right now, whatever I'm doing right now will smell my name and smell my business. So integrity is what keeps me. Integrity is what sets me apart. I will not give my word for something I know I cannot do. I will not say and not do. People who know me, I don't know if anyone here listening knows me, but you can go and check me out. I have a track record of I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. People can go and check Emmanuella Imo across all platforms. I deliver, and for me, even if in the course of time, at the results of this election, I do not win this election, life goes on for me. I am not going to be disappointed. I am not going to fight anyone. For me, it's an experience and a new journey I am going on, and I'm gathering as many connections, as many people, as many resources as possible. So it's an ambition for me. I've put my name to this, and I will see it to the end.
Yeah, it is so great to see it is so brave to see a woman speaking in an eloquent direction that this is
Courage.
what I want.
Courage was there.
And I am not desperate. I love people that are not so desperate to get things. But I want to ask you this. Are you seeing yourself as a potential politician in Nigeria? Forget about NSU. Let's just talk about future. We have limited time. I just want you to answer that in 1 minute.
Okay, let's be truthful. At the moment, I don't.
But you have political background that can win an election in CIU.
I don't know. Yes, I do. I was the first female president for my CDS group as an NYC, in Delta State. I was the first female president of my CDS. I was the PRO in my department as an undergraduate. So I have some background in all of these things, even though it wasn't as serious as what we're seeing now or what I'm seeing now, right? But then I have background in that, and I have over 5 years of leadership experience. So leading people comes easy for me, right? And I've worked with people who are older than us. So for me, leading people is not an issue, and having to work with people is not an issue.
Politics, they say, is a game of number. How do you ensure you have the highest number of votes to get you in office? I know you are not desperate, but you have to be strategic in your movement. So if you really want to get there, if you aspire, there should be a pattern to follow to get there. How do you ensure during the election outcome favor you?
Okay, so we are already mobilizing. We've mobilized a lot of people, leveraging all the connections, talking to as many students as possible, campaigning, like they say. So the strategies are so many, but it boils down to mobilization, sharing my ideas, which is something I have also done. And sharing my ideas has been convincing a lot of people, like these are realistic goals and we are buying into this idea. So for me, it's getting people to buy into my vision for an empowered student community here in Cyprus. And I believe that with that, I'm able to convince as many people to come out to share and give me their support.
Sorry, we have just 1 minute. I just want to ask you a quick one. I have listened to some people who are the elderly ones in the student journalism on campus, and they spoke so well about you. Is it not that you are going there on the verge of godfatherism? If there is something like that, I want you to take time and demystify. Sorry.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. A lot of people think it's about godfatherism, but most people don't know that some of these people were my friends when I first came to this island. So when all of this election, you have to talk to this person, you have to talk to that person, I was like, I know this person, they are my friend, they are my WhatsApp contact, And I went to them officially to show my interest, right? And all of this started like 1 month away, October. So it's not like a godfatherism thing. I have built a relationship with these people over time for the last 6 years, not because I was building any interest in politics. All of this interest wanting to serve people started in April when I had an issue with my passport this year. So it was not something that started from the beginning.
No, we have to round it up now. We have to round it up now. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, Miss Emmanuella Imo. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Kolawole, Muqadiss. Our people, that's all we have for you today. This is an avenue to showcase what Emmanuella have for you guys. When it is time in November, I think November 10 to 9, there's going to be election around that time. November 9, please just go out and vote for whoever your mind places with. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you. You can end it now.
Bye.
All right.